I'm your host, Daniel P. Geddes, and we are here with the infamous Justin Miller. JM, how are you doing today?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
No, I thank you so much for being here. I've been a fan for a long time, and I'm when I started doing this project, I'm like, Justin's one of the guys that I got to get on, and we're gonna have a great time and talk some magic and talent, and let's do it.
That's awesome. How did you, real quick, how did you become familiar with my work? Like how long ago?
Ooh, back when Illusionist started to go online.
Okay.
So I bought some downloads of yours, which I'm still working on. I got Vibration, and
hmm
so I'm still working on that. How I got to maneuver it all around, but I love that trick. That's a great trick.
Yeah, vibration is really cool. The idea came to me because of a switch. The vibration switch was the original concept for it. Being able to switch a car without doing a top pin, and
Okay.
that was the whole point of it. Um, because when I don't mind top changes. I mean, they're fun, they're fine. But I had this great idea to go from this kind of, so they'd see the card type of thing, then you call the card, but you call it behind, so now it's sticking out in jog, right?
Right.
So now you can have a card selected. Say, is that the card? They say no. You sure that wasn't the eight of clubs? Okay, I tell you what, let's try something. Blow on it, and of course it changes into their right card.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's kind of where the whole thing came from. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what we're gonna do, guys? This is gonna start off a little different series in my podcast. We're gonna, I, it's a talent podcast, and I felt that we should show off some talent. So what we're
Mm.
gonna do is we're gonna have JM do a little something for us. I'm gonna show you what I've been working on. So I'm gonna go first,
Okay.
and then I'll let you do your routine. So this is going to be a hard angle to do it at. So because of the phone, let's see if I can angle it down a little more. All right, so two of hearts and a little bit of a.
There you go, Queen of Spades. Very cool.
So been
Very,
working on that.
very cool. Well, I'm actually going to use your deck. We'll try something. This doesn't always work, but we'll actually use your deck for this. So shuffle your cards up.
Oh, all
I'm
right, okay. Let me make
not
sure I
going to
got
use
all the.
anything right here. I'm not going to use a deck of cards or anything. You're going to do everything there.
Okay, cool.
And
Here, let's actually do this then. I'm going to move you over to my mat,
cool.
and this way you can see me do this.
Perfect. It
All
looks
right. How much do you want me to mix it?
as much as you want. You can stop whenever you want.
All right, we'll do one more and then I'm good. Okay.
Perfect. Put the deck down in front of you, face down.
Got it.
I want you to name two cards out loud. So not the, don't worry about the suits, all right? Just the value. So you can name a 2 and a 10. You can name a king and a 4. You can, whatever you want to name. Now, again, this might not work. This might not work. But if it
Okay.
works, it's really cool.
Just the value, not the suit.
Yep. Name any ones you want.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a 6 and a jack.
A 6 and a jack. Believe it or not, if this worked, even though you shuffled whenever you wanted and you stopped whenever you wanted, the 6 and the jack is next to each other right now.
Okay.
So spread the deck towards the camera
All right.
and go very, very, oh, jack already. Wait, hold on. This is it. No, towards me, not towards you.
Like that?
Now, there's a jack already. Go from the bottom go from the bottom. Okay, let's see how we do. Oh, that's so close. Wait, stop. Look how close that is, though. It's a 5. It's
Are you
one
kidding?
off. Pretty amazing. Already pretty amazing. Keep going.
All right.
Slow. One every card. Yep. Keep going. We have another jack. Let's see what's next to it. What's next to that jack? A 4. Even, wow, that's really crazy.
Closer.
Even off. A 6. Ooh, next to a 4. Okay.
Kind of hard spreading this way.
You're doing wonderful.
What's that? Is that? Oh, that's
No. Wow, that's even. Wait, stop. That's crazy. A jack and a 9, which is an upside down 6. That's interesting. That's crazy.
Okay.
Were you thinking of 9 before too, or did you have that in your head or no?
No, I was pretty determined on what I wanted.
Okay, keep going.
So we got one more shot, right? I think we've done 3 jacks.
You've had like really 3 big close, like next to each other.
Super really close. Weird.
With 6 and a 10, that's kind of weird. Okay.
One off by 1.
Another 1 off, yeah. A lot of 1-offs.
Getting down to it.
I don't think we got it this time. Keep going. I don't think we got it though. But we got really close. Like a jack and a 7, that's 1 off again.
That's 1 off. We were 1 off every time.
But you were 1 off 4 times. That's really interesting. Maybe it's these. These are the cards I was talking about. And you could have named this thing, right?
Right.
Let's see if we get a hit here. There's a 6, right?
There's a 6 and a 6 by each other.
6 and next to a 9.
9. There's a jack and a jack.
Oh, that's interesting.
2 6s and 2 jacks.
Wait a minute. So when you said jack and 6, they actually went and found the mates of each one. Okay, that's weird, dude.
That's bizarre.
2 6s and 2 jacks right next to each other.
Okay, keep going. Let's see what else we find.
That's nutty, bro. That's nutty.
There's a 6 and an ace.
Yeah.
There's a jack and a 2 and another jack and an ace.
That's really weird. Okay, let's do this one more time. Think of any 2 other cards.
Any other 2?
Shuffle while you're thinking of it, though. Let's try that. Maybe that'll change.
Right. Switch it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a 9 and a 3.
9. Cut the deck. Cut the deck.
Cut the deck?
Yeah. Complete the cut. All right, let's see what you did. Let's check it out.
Want me to go from top to bottom or bottom to top?
Where you want to go. An ace and a 3, that's close. Not really. A 9. Wait, hold on. A 9 and a what? 3, you said?
Yeah.
Look at that. Ace 1 plus 2. That's 3. That's interesting.
All right. I like it.
So that's 2 of those. That's really weird. That's really weird.
Going.
See, even if it doesn't work, it's really interesting because you're getting like certain really weird combinations.
There's a 3.
Yeah.
What's this one? A 4.
Yeah.
And a 6. That would be 10. That's close.
It's really nothing there. Yeah.
We're stretching here.
Yeah, that's totally stretching. But the other ones weren't.
What's that? 10.
The other ones weren't stretching. That was really interesting. So you said a 9 and a 3, right?
Right.
2 9s next to each other.
That would have been cool if that was a 3. There's a 3. Oh, no, that's an ace.
Yeah. Well, I think what we can conclude from this is you had like a lot of wait. Well, what's that at the bottom? Look at towards the bottom. Keep going. Stop. That's an interesting one. We're not even going to stretch here. Look, 6 plus 3 is what?
9.
So the 6 is next to the 3, that's the upside down 9 again, which is what you had last time with the jack.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. So with fingers, you just came up with a lot of like 1-offs. That's really interesting. Really interesting. Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right.
So what's the psychological doing behind that
It's not
routine?
psychology.
Just synchronicities, coincidences?
It's a random thing. The gentleman, years and years and years ago, probably in the early, I think, 1920s, 1930s, came up with this idea. And Vernon kind of came up with another idea based on that, what he called the trick that cannot be explained. And so this is the infancy of the trick that cannot be explained. This is kind of where it came from.
Okay.
And it's the idea of just being able to have a lot of card knowledge behind you. But this one's a little different. This one has to do with randomness, complete randomness.
Okay.
And so you can't, it doesn't work every single time. But when it works, it's a hit. You're done. But if it doesn't work, then you look for ways out of it, and you can kind of look for things. It's almost like a cold thing for a card trick.
That's what I'd say. It'd be more of an exercise to do the cold reading and to make you more on top of it.
It's a great. I use this all the time just to practice just cold reading, just with that one little thing. Yeah.
So here's a question: how many out of 10 times? How many times would you say you would get a pair that matched?
Well, I mean, doing the trick right back to each other, or how many times I've actually done the trick?
Let's just say you do it 10 times to 10 people. How many times would you get it to come out?
Well, that's the thing. You don't know.
Okay. All right.
When to work. Never.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we'll post that. You want to show us one other quick thing?
Nope. Not at all.
All right. Okay. So, JM, you're a magician. Tell me about who you are and when you discovered your talent.
Well, I like long walks on the beach. No. I actually do like long walks on the beach. Beaches are really awesome. I was 5 years old. My dad showed me a card trick. It was the four robbers, the four jacks, and the deck of cards is the house, and the four robbers go into different parts of the house, and then the third one stays on top, or the fourth one stays on top for a lookout. And hey guys, get up here! The cops are here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember seeing. I was 5 years old, and I remember very vividly at that very moment that I knew that everybody in the world had to experience what I was experiencing. I remember saying that as a 5-year-old kid. It was one of my very first thoughts that kind of brought me online into this world of whatever this was inside that I was feeling because of watching my dad do this amazing thing. I just saw this magic, this real magic. It wasn't a card trick to me. It was magic. It was the most amazing freaking thing I'd ever seen in my life. Of course, I was only 5. So I didn't see a lot. And I remember, saying, that everybody in the world needs to experience this. And my life has been about teasing that thought out. My whole life's just been teasing that thought out of how I can get other people to experience what I experienced when I was 5 years old. So when I create magic, when I perform magic, when I talk about magic, I talk about it as if I'm that 5-year-old kid. And I have that very clear, distinct vision of what the trick should look like or what it should feel like more than anything.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I asked my guests, what is JM's definition of talent?
It's a great question. I've never been asked that before. I think I as I've gotten older, I've realized that I've been wrong about a lot of things. And what I mean by that is, when you first have a thought about something or you think about a subject, depending on your experience and depending on how old you are, depending on where you come from, your answer is going to vary, But as you get older, you start to have more of a universal understanding of what that really means, whatever that subject was or whatever that context was. And, I used to think talent was just, it's something anybody could do. So if they have a certain thing and they could do that, that's their talent.
Okay.
I don't believe that anymore. I don't think everybody has a talent. I don't think everybody can create things. I don't think that everybody, I'm not a plumber for a reason because I'm really, at it. I don't know how to do it, and I don't want to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm encouraging because I didn't go to school for that. So to me, a talent, first of all, I think there's two voices you have to listen to when trying to figure out what your talent is, if we want to call it that word. Some people call it a gift, you know, those kind of things, but implying a gift means that it came from something or someone. And I'm an anti-theist. I don't believe that. I think it's a lot of hard work to have to be able to do something like this, or any kind of whatever you do, whatever art you're in, or whatever vocation you're in. It's a lot of hard work to get to that and to be that good, you know. So somebody can be talented but be talentless because they don't really know what they're doing with it. They're not good at it. And just in a YouTube video of some guy or some kid purchasing a magic trick and then exposing it, and you'll see exactly how good they are. They're horrible. They're horrible teachers. They're horrible, whatever. And so you got to listen to two voices. Going back to this, you have to listen to two voices. The first voice is inside you. There's something that you connect to, that thing, whatever that thing is. We'll use magic as an example. So you connect to it somehow. I connected to magic somehow. I didn't purposely try to. I was just shown a magic trick by my dad, and that was it. That was it. It changed my life. It changed my entire life because of my dad. And the second voice is your outside influence, meaning your parents, meaning your brothers and sisters, meaning your peers, or if you go to school or whatever.
Right.
When someone looks at you and goes, "You're really good at that. Wow, you're good at that. Wow, you should do something with that. Wow." Those voices are there for a reason, to guide us. And we need to listen to those voices. I think it's really important. So in order to find your talent, I think you have to listen to yourself, the inner self, and find out what it is that you like to do, or what it is that you want to do, and then listen to the people around you and get real honest feedback. Don't just get people blowing, stuff up your ass and like, whatever, because you'll see a lot of that happen. A lot of these Instagrammers now are doing those kind of things. You just look at me like, why? You're not good. What are you doing? Good. And people told them they are. And then they get likes. And now the problem is they get likes, shares, and subscribes, and viewers and followers. So they think that number is their success.
Yeah.
And that number is not their success. That's not success. Do not count your numbers. Do not count your likes. Do not count your followers. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. If you have it, you have it, and people will follow you because of that. Correct. Put out good content, put out good magic, put out good teaching, put out whatever you do, whatever your art is. Just fucking focus on that. That's the only word I'm going to say. But I'm very passionate about this. Focus on that. Don't focus on getting your followers. Don't focus on any of that stuff. That will come later.
Yeah. And
I think the problem with the internet is that I heard Kevin Hart talk about this with Joe Rogan yesterday, and it really hit me. The problem with the internet is that people are now missing steps to get to success.
Yeah.
They're going straight from 1 to 300, the 300th step. They're missing all that in between, and they're going to be bad at what they do if they continue to do that.
Correct. I would agree with that. Well, and I'm totally opposite. I mean, if I don't feel like my routine or effect that I'm doing is up to scratch and I don't feel good about it, I'm not going to post it. So
yeah, and everybody just says, "Well, I'm just going to post it. Why not?" I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
Oh, yeah.
I always have my go-to people that I ask, and is this good enough? And they'll say no, it needs this, and then I'll work on it and get it where I need to.
Be honest with you.
Yep. So was your dad a magician then?
He dabbled in magic. He wasn't like a professional magician or anything like that.
So it doesn't run in the family.
No, not at all. He just liked card tricks, and he always had Paul Daniels card trick books around the house, and he used to get Blackstone magic kits and magic kits back in the day when they used to sell them at like just regular grocery stores.
All right.
And he just loved magic. He's a fan of magic. He's always loved magic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's one whole thing of his that wasn't a big thing for him turned out to be my life.
Right.
I mean,
So I want to know, you saw the Four Robber trick, and then what, tell me, and you were 5.
Mhm.
So from 5 to when did you decide that that was what you were going to do?
Well, it's interesting. When I was a kid, I didn't like sports or anything like that, but I loved skateboarding. So I used to skateboard a lot. And I got really, really good at skateboarding. And I busted up my knees and my body hurts now. I never should have done it, but I regret that a little bit. I had fun. I had a blast. And so there were other things that were definitely pulling me, but not many. Not many. It was from, I think it was around, like I was still doing, I love detectives like stuff too back in the day. So me and this other kid, like 5th grade, we would we would get hired by other kids to find like their missing, they lost something on the playground, or they, and they'd pay us like money to find it. We had detective kits, and we had like fingerprint stuff. We had
That's awesome.
yeah, I was really into that kind of thing. It was so dorky, but and yeah, like I was really popular with the women. A freaking detective magic geek. Yeah, that's gonna get the ladies. And it's so, but I didn't care. It was really fun. It was other guy named Andy. Actually, I remember Andy's last name, but he was a dork just like I was, and he liked yo-yos and little figurine things, and so. And I always loved imaginary playtime stuff. I always loved GI Joe. I always loved He-Man. I always loved, because I created a world with these things, and I always loved Legos. I always loved what's it called, the log cabin blocks. What are those? What are they called?
Oh, Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs. Yeah, Lincoln Logs, and then also erector sets.
Nice.
Love that stuff. I love sea monkeys. Like I love exploring. When I was a kid, I just loved that kind of stuff. And then music came into my life as well. So, and I realized I had a voice and I could sing. And then I played I played instruments. I played trombone. I played drums. I played violin. Violin was my first instrument I ever played.
Okay, this I did not know. I did not know you were a magician.
Nope,
A musician.
nobody, not many people do. Not many people do. I've kept that kind of
Wow.
private. I've been releasing a lot of my karaoke videos lately, but yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And so
we have a Beyond Fame exclusive here with JM.
That's right. But yeah, it was just, there were things that were pulling me, but I didn't allow them to become the main influence. Magic was always the main influence in my life.
Okay.
But I allowed those other things to kind of, no, I don't want to use the word mature, to sweeten the pot, if you will, or to kind of, to salten life up a little bit, to spice it up a little bit. So music that became something that I love to do, and that's my hobby. The singing is my hobby now. That's what I do for stress relief. That's what I do for therapy.
Me too.
Yeah. So music has now become that part for me. But as far as like things kind of pulling away from magic, I remember when I was resolute that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it was watching a David Copperfield special. And I had met David before that at one of his shows. And I got to show him a trick, and he stopped the line. And I'm very thankful that I've known, I've had a very great life as far as the people I know. Chris Kinner, Homer Lee Walk, David Copperfield, all these people have influenced me and changed me in ways that I never would have before. And Chris Kinner is my oldest brother in magic, like a dear brother. Love him to death. But it was after watching a Copperfield special. It was his the train, the Orient Express.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
13 at that time, and magic had not really been I wasn't really doing anything with it at that time. I just, was 13.
Right.
And I saw that, and I remember just inside, just the same. I had kind of the same moment when I saw my dad do the card trick, but it was like I had the first moment. You play video games?
A little bit, not much.
Well, a lot of video games, a lot of like, adventure games and things like that. You have to go to the first thing, right? So you talk,
Right.
you have to do this, and then there's more steps, right?
Yeah.
You get to the second step, and now you have more knowledge is given to you. New things are now given to you. More levels are open up, or whatever happens on that thing.
Right.
That's what my life has felt like. I know vividly 3 big moments in my life where everything changed in my life for magic. First one was when I saw magic for the first time with my dad. Second one is when I saw Copperfield, and I became resolute at that time. And then the third one is when I met Chris Karen, Homer Leewog, and David Copperfield. And I was driving home in my car going, wow, there's another level to this I didn't know. And that's the thing I love about magic, because I'm always reaching new levels, another level that I just never saw before.
Oh,
and me, it's
ongoing.
Yeah, it really is, man. It really is.
So when was your first magic performance? Tell me about that.
I think I was like 7, 8 years old, and I did a show in my garage, and I would hand out. I made little tickets with pieces of paper that said Magic Show on it, and then I went around the neighborhood and I went to everybody's door and I said, "There's going to be a magic show," and
Nice.
I remember so vividly. And then I think there's like 25 people that showed up, and I did my first show. I levitated my stepsister at the time, and I had a lot of Mac Magic shit at that time. You know what I mean? Like Stratosphere and the Dots Impossible, like with the handkerchief and the dots come off the can and the thing. So yeah, and I did card tricks, and boy, what a great experience that was. But you have to understand something. My dad wasn't the only person in my life that really influenced the idea of theater or performing or doing that. My mom was married to a guy named Chuck Larkin, and he was in a band. Hold on one second. My son's having a seizure. Hold on one second. I can hear.
Yeah. We can pause that. I'd rather edit it.
So there you go. You got to experience something I deal with on a weekly basis. So.
I will edit that out. So
don't.
No. Okay.
I have nothing to hide from anybody.
Okay.
No, cool. Absolutely not. And that's one of the things I think, as I reinvented myself, getting older, I became real.
Yeah.
I became real with my fans, or became real with my customers, and I saw that they really appreciated that.
Good.
I don't pull punches. Yeah. I don't, people can say whatever they want about me, but the one thing I don't do is pull punches. And I'm always honest with people. I don't give a crap if they like it or not. I don't care. Life is too short to be fake. I can't be fake anymore. Yeah. You can't. You can't. And if I ever feel myself going towards that direction, I just beat the crap out of myself. What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't do that.
There you go.
I mean, look at what I do for a living. I'm in an industry that lies.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, we're lying to our audience. I mean, now those of us who do this in a way that is at least righteous is the fact that I'm lying, but I'm using the lie to speak a universal truth.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
to hurt somebody. I'm not lying to get over on somebody.
Right.
But to speak a lie in order to speak the truth, I think that's what true magicians can really do if they apply themselves.
Yeah.
And so, people know about my son, they know about his seizures, they know about everything he's going through. And that's really endeared me to my fans as well. So I think it's been a really interesting ride.
Well, good for you. We were talking about your first show.
Mm-hmm.
You sold your tickets, you levitated your sister.
Yeah,
and then that you were.
So my dad wasn't the only influence. My mom was married to a guy named Chuck Larkin, and Chuck was in a band called the Capital City Boys, and they were very, very popular country band. And I got to meet Crystal Gayle. I got to go on stage with Crystal Gayle at the fairgrounds, so I could perform with her when I was a kid. I mean, I got so many levels of influence of show business from all angles of my life, and it really just kind of melted into the person you see before you today.
Very cool. Let's talk about you put out a lot of magic, and you're a very creative guy. I want to talk about the creative process from you. What inspires your creativity?
Anything, man. There's no, I've been asked this question thousands of times in interviews and things, and there's no right answer. There's no correct process. There's no, if I could bottle it up and give it to you, I would. It could be a song. It could be a thought I have in my head. It could be whatever I'm going through in life at that time, and I kind of try to create a trick around that. Freedom Pack, for example, where the cards are loose and then they go back box and everything. I was going through my divorce at that time, and that's why I named the ring thing, not ring thing, but the ring trick I did, divorce, because I was going through my divorce at that. Freedom Pack was part of the divorce process too, and it was a free. That was the very first trick I came up with after my divorce, going through all that pain and misery and everything, and almost losing my life, honestly. Freedom Pack was a fresh new start for me, and that's why I named it Freedom Pack. It was a freedom moment for me. So it could be anything, man. It could be just laying here and thinking about something that not even
just comes to you.
Yeah, I could be out in a bar or a restaurant, whatever, and hear a song or hear a lyric or hear a conversation of some people and talking, and I'm like I'm working on a new idea right now. It's a cigarette through hand. So you take a cigarette, you pass it through your hand, you light it while it's in between.
Oh, nice.
Then they slowly pull it out, and everything's free and clean. You hand everything out. The reason I came up with that idea is because I overheard somebody talking about they got burnt on their hand by a cigarette a couple of days before something. I'm like, wow, that'd be interesting. What if the idea of being burnt by a cigarette wasn't a bad idea anymore? What if you could show somebody, like, it's not the worst thing to happen to you? And then this whole idea of being in your hand and everything, just,
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Let's talk about.
Yeah. So short answer, life, anything in life.
There you go. I like it. Get out and live it and be inspired by it, right?
Absolutely. And be the change you want to see, man.
Nice. I want to ask you, because you do have a lot of product out. Let's go from, and I know magic is, the industry is very, I mean, it's a hard industry to put stuff out at, because people are always saying, you stole my idea, you stole my move. When you come up with an idea that you,
your
what's
shit.
that?
But they actually do steal your stuff.
Yeah. When you come up with something, take me through the process of an idea to a routine to marketing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the idea and the routining and all that come years before most of the time. When I was younger, there was a longer period between working something out to putting it on the market. Now that I'm older and I have more experience behind me, I'm very good at just looking at something and knowing if it's going to work or not. I just know now. But that's come with a long history of trial and error to get to that place. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have a natural sense to just go, oh, that's perfect, done, game over. It's great, perfect. Because you don't want to overextend a thought on something too long.
Right.
Because you'll never get it out. You'll never get it done. So it has to end at some point. And usually when it ends, I usually have more ideas about that thing right after.
That's so me every time.
Isn't it? Right, exactly. So the thought comes, so here's the idea, boom, here. So we'll go with Freedom Pack, okay? So Freedom Pack was on accident. I was not creating a cards to box trick. I wasn't. I literally was just messing around with a box one day and I was tearing it. I was just tearing it. I'm like, look at it, I don't know, tear it this way. And I like to play like that because you discover things.
Right.
So I just took a box and I started tearing it. I could load stuff in there. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, whatever. Went away, went to bed, woke up the next day, and I had randomly put the cards in the box and went, eh.
Okay.
When I woke up, I looked in the mirror before I picked them up, and it looked like just a lone deck of cards sitting on the table with no box around it. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. All right.
Okay.
What if it, I literally remember doing that. I was like, oh, this is so good if this works. And I did the flip and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. I got to call Paul Harris right now. So I called Paul Harris. I showed him the video. He goes, holy shit. That's amazing. He sent me the check for it within 10 minutes. And that was it. Freedom Pack. But I had gone through a really hard time with my divorce. So for 9 months, I was just in just a mess. I didn't do magic. I didn't pick up anything. I was suicidal. I lost my kids. I lost my family. I lost my faith. So all these things were just coming in. I like just a. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. I had nothing. I didn't have a computer. I had nothing. I had to start over. I had to start over completely from scratch. And so that's the first trick I put out after my divorce. So there was a so during that 9 months,
can I ask you something here real quick? So what was it that made you get off your ass and say, I got to get back out again? And what was the point of moving forward?
I was sick and tired of crying every day. I was sick and tired of feeling defeated. I was sick and tired of continually making myself a victim in this and not allowing myself to heal. And I said, something's got to change. If nothing changes, I'm going to die. That's just the bottom line. I know it's going to happen. And I said to myself, maybe there's another step. Maybe there's another journey that I'm supposed to go down. And I got off my ass and I just picked up a deck of cards one day and I just started messing with them again. I quit for 10 months. I didn't do shit. Didn't do anything.
Wow.
I started messing with them and then I started to feel the joy again coming back. And I just started. I was just doing magic myself, just like this in the mirror and things. I wasn't even going out showing people anything. I just wanted to find it again for me. And I'm about to cry right now because it was a really, really, really emotional time finding magic again for my life and being able to find that magic. So whenever I hear people tell me, you're the reason I got into magic, you're the reason I do this, you're the reason I do this, I understand so fully now where they're coming from because I got to find it again for myself.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing experience. It was like seeing that card trick for the first time.
I'm giving you a Skype hug, bro.
Oh.
Bring it in. Fist bump. Right on. What advice would you give to either young people or maybe somebody who has had a hard time like that and wants to bounce back from it? What advice would you give them to discover their talent or passion, and what would they do with it?
You got to listen to the voices, man. You got to listen to the voice inside you more. You have to trust your voice more. You have to trust it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't live with regrets, and stop blaming other people for your failures. Failure is a beautiful thing. It needs to be done to be successful. You cannot be fully successful without failure. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Embrace failure. Embrace the mistakes. Embrace that journey because it makes you better. Learn from them. Become a better person because of it. But don't allow that to become your reality. Don't allow that to become your excuse that you make of why you're not making it or why you're not doing the things that you want to do. Life is too damn short. You have no excuse and you have nobody else to blame but yourself. And once you take responsibility for your life, you actually start to find a freedom in that. And you can now look at your life differently and you can say to yourself, you know, yeah, I did do those things, or yeah, that's who I was, but I'm not that person anymore. And because of that, I'm a better person now. Just
Nice.
take responsibility for your own lives and stop blaming other people.
I like it. What are some ways that people can discover their talents or passions?
Try things.
Get out and do it.
Last night I went to a karaoke place because I wanted to sing karaoke, but they had a contest and I didn't want to enter. I didn't know anything about the contest. I was just outside smoking a cigarette, talking to one of my dudes, and the guy who runs the thing comes out and just randomly looks at me and goes, "Hey, last thing, do you want to get in?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool." I've learned in my older age to every time you have an opportunity in front of you, take it.
Nice.
Take the opportunity. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It doesn't make sense to say no to something.
Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you take yourself out of that moment? Why would you? And yeah, your heart might race or whatever. Who cares? Go.
Right. Just do it.
I'm a strong believer and advocate that if something comes to your door, comes to your personal doorstep, you have everything in your power right now at that very time to accomplish that thing.
Perfect.
Even if you've never done it before. I have never been on TV before I was on Wizard Wars. We got seen by 2.2 million people. Our episode was the highest rated show of those 2 years.
Wow.
Me and Adam have never done anything like that before. But we're like, yep, let's go. When Illusionist called me up years and years when I first got started, they're like, hey, let's do a thing. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about how that worked. Now I know how it works. And now I started my own company because of that.
Awesome.
Now, if I had those opportunities, I wouldn't have seen how editing works. I wouldn't see how filmmaking works or how things are put together. I wouldn't have seen that. I wouldn't have seen how Hollywood works and how LA treats people or what they do if I wouldn't have gone on Wizard Wars. I wouldn't have experienced that.
Nice.
I wouldn't have the America's Got Talent thing when I helped Smoothini. We got into second place. But I said yes to something. I said yes to something I've never done, and always say yes to things that make you scared. Always. Those are the best ones.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, those are the best ones. One of my favorite songs, we sang it last night, is Live Like You're Dying by Tim McGraw. Because damn it, why not, man? Why not?
Yeah.
You're going to live forever? You're not.
No.
So why not do everything in your power to be the best you can, to experience every little thing in life that has to offer, and go for it, man. Just go for it. Stop making excuses. I'm so sick of people making excuses. I used to do that when I was. I don't tolerate it anymore.
Yeah. What? Yep, I agree. 2 questions. So, what is your favorite karaoke song, and did you win the competition last night?
I don't have a lot of favorites in life of things. I've never been a favorite kind of person. I like a lot of things.
Okay.
So yeah, I sing anything from country to rock to rap to love songs so from Poison, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, to Tim McGraw, to David Lee Roth, Just a Gigolo. I think Just a Gigolo is one of my absolute, gonna go to that, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn is my go-tos.
Nice. I don't know the other one. I know Every Rose Has Its Thorn. That's a great tune.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. Wow, it's been 45 minutes already. We're having a blast here. Let's do this. Let's get into some wrap up, and maybe we could do a part 2 revised, because I think you give great advice, and it's been a fast moving conversation. This has been awesome. Let's talk about Magic with a Vision. Mm-hmm. And I want to know what that's all about and what your idea behind that is. So.
Magic with Vision is the idea and the concept of my website and for my Instagram came to me when I was doing mentalism. There was a whole year that, and this is another thing. I was performing at the Magic Castle, and I closed with a mentalism piece that was called Serendipity, killer mentalism piece. And a lady comes up to me afterwards and whispered in my ear, I know what you do is real. My sister does it. You're absolutely amazing. And she was crying. She was actually crying. And I'm like, I was like, wow, that's strong shit. I never got that with magic. I never got that with magic. I've gotten strong reactions, but not crying.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, mentalism, this is interesting. So Andy Kaufman has always been a huge inspiration in my life, and just an amazing man we had here on this earth. And he wouldn't let people off the hook. He just kept doing it, and people didn't know if it was real or not. And I love that. And I said to myself, I wonder if I could quit magic, convince all of the magic community that I'm done, convince the mentalism community that I'm now a mentalist, put together a full 1 hour show, one man show, take that show and present it either at Murphy's Lecture or a Penguin show.
Okay.
Do a lecture, a 3 hour lecture on the material, and then just treat mentalism for a whole year. And every time everybody would ask me, are you going back to magic? I would say, no, absolutely not. I wonder if I could convince them. And I did.
Nice.
I did.
Cool.
And I gave myself 1 year. The day, it was October 5th in 2015 to October 5th of 2016. 1 year from when I was at the castle to then. And that's exactly what I did. I created a one-man show. And that was really hard because I kept having magic ideas come to me.
Uh-huh.
And I put them out the pipeline, so I just had to like videotape them very quickly, and then okay, go away. Mentalism. And through that, I forged a very good brotherhood relationship with Mark Salem, and we became very dear brothers through that. And he started promoting me in the mentalism community.
Nice.
And it just happened. It just freaking happened. And I said to myself after that year, I'm done with mentalism. I'm going right back to magic, but I'm not telling you. If you watch my Penguin show, which was a sold out show, all mentalism, one man show. I'd never done anything like that before. And I just wanted to see if I could do it.
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
Very inspired by people like Darren Brown and Michael Weber and those kind of people.
Yeah, me too.
And you'll notice I changed my look at the time. I shaved my head. I had glasses on. I don't need glasses. I have glasses on. And the reason for the glasses for the character that I was creating for this show is I was at a bar one night and I put the glasses on. I just was messing around, seeing what would happen. And this guy literally walks up to me and goes, man, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah. Well, I go, first of all, why are you asking me? He goes, well, you got glasses on. You look really smart. That's it. I gotta have the glasses.
Awesome. That's
fantastic. Those things just kind of came out of nowhere. And so Magic with Vision is kind of a nod to the mentalism kind of phase I had, because magic should have vision, and mentalism is always in the head. So when you put it into a form of physical visual things like Brown did perfectly, you get magic with vision. So I think so, and also it's also a path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's never ending. And so when I create magic, I create it with a vision in mind. And so my creations, when you go to my website, when you buy my projects, when you do those things, you will know that all my stuff is deeply rooted, that I have a vision for each piece that I create or the project that I do.
That's awesome. Very cool. I'm going to ask you a random question and then we'll do some wrap up. So random questions. I like time travel. And so I'm going to go with that. If you can travel back in time and perform a magic or a mentalism effect for anybody historical, who would it be and what would you perform and why?
Myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I
What
do
would
magic. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. But I want to go back at this age to like a 9 or 10 year old me and bump into him somewhere or whatever. You know where it probably happened? I would go back to Dollywood when went to Dollywood when I was younger. And I remember getting the Mystic Smoke, and it blew up. It's so hot in Dollywood, it blew up in the bag. It was so messy, so messy. That was such a horrible product, but it was still cool. Like
Yeah, it was cool. I got that.
I got it at a magic shop there, and I got a couple other little magic things. I would get a job at that magic shop the day before, whatever, or maybe even a year before, whatever. And I
Yeah.
would wait it out. I'd wait it out until that day that I was there, and I'd perform magic for me. And
What-
I would love to. I would love to see my reaction if
I was just gonna ask you, what do you think your reaction would be?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably start crying. I'm.
Uh,
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I cry a lot. I like things make me cry. Like whenever I'm very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person. I think you have to be. You have
Yeah.
to when you reach a certain level of wherever you're at in your career or your art or whatever.
Sure.
You have to be sensitive. You have to be open to those things. I'm very much an empath too. I can feel other people's emotions and stuff.
Nice.
And it's not a spiritual thing. It's just something
Yeah.
It's a curse.
It's a human thing.
Yeah, it's a curse and a blessing, to be honest with you.
Sure.
When I was younger, I used to get headaches when I just go into places, and I didn't understand why I was getting headaches, like with all these people around me. But then I got older and I realized what was going on.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so whenever I see people succeed, so whenever I watch America's Got Talent and I see people succeed or follow their dreams, I cry like a baby, like a baby.
That's awesome.
Because I just love that. I love seeing people succeed.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful when people follow their dreams. It just inspires me. It inspires me.
That's very cool. Awesome. What's in the future for JM? What are you working on? What's going on?
Well, I can let you know because this will be out when? When will this go out?
Wednesday or Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
I just got done signing the contracts. I got 5 projects coming out with Illusionist.
Sweet.
So I'm back with Illusionist, and it's going to be a real big comeback. One's a whole sleeving project. It's all sleeving.
Wow.
Something I've wanted to do for many years, and finally we're getting the chance to do it. And then 4 other downloads, and then so 4 separate tricks, and then another one called the Serpent System, and that's going to be another separate project by itself.
Very cool.
We'll leave for Vegas next month to film everything, and me and Adam Wilber are going to be filming some stuff together too. So very cool, man. It's a very cool process of being able to reconnect. Me and Adam Wilber and Illusionist fell out for a little bit, and over at Magi Fest this year, me and Adam saw each other and we hugged him because, I mean, dude, he was my brother.
That's great.
He's my brother, you know. I mean, we went on Wizard Wars together. We went through so much shit with that show. Oh my God, we almost. Oh yeah, there's whole that could be a second podcast by itself. It was really cool to mend fences and to see each other again and connect. And he goes, "Man, let's get you back to Illusionist." I'm like, "Dude, that would be amazing. Let's do it." And it's really cool. Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
I gotta tell you, I asked Adam Wilber to be on the show, and he said yes. So I'm gonna schedule a time with him and get him on.
Good. I was going to give you. That's who the name I was going to give you. Actually,
I brought that up because you mentioned that, and I'm like, I know you're buddies with him, and I should have gave you a heads up and say no, you can't do Adam Wilber because I already got him. So. Okay, so then that's my next question. I do referrals. So who would you refer? That's awesome. That is inspired by passion, has a great talent. It doesn't have to be a magician. It can be a musician, anybody that's awesome that you know who you can get me in touch with and be on the show.
There's so many good people out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there too. Gregory Wilson.
Okay. I love Greg.
Greg's he's another dear brother of mine, and we've just love him to death, man. He's so brilliant. He's just a
Oh.
G. He's just a genius, man.
His wit and just
Oh.
how he just responds and reacts to people and situations. I got to see him at Magic Jam in Salt Lake City. I got to spend a couple of days with him, and blew my mind. Just an outstanding man, and
Yep.
he's just super cool. So that will be super awesome. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely, I'll get you in touch with him for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Any final thoughts, my man?
Not really. No, I think we talked about a lot, actually.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
Well, thank you. It was a great interview as well. Thank you very much, man.
Well, I appreciate you taking your time and being on Beyond Fame.
Anytime. I would love to be back anytime you'd like.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
And I'm gonna